Hello everyone, welcome to the morning news. I'm your host, Little Feng, and here's our first news story. Meng Meng, the eldest of the world's only giant panda triplets, successfully gave birth to a female cub weighing 178 grams on June 18, 2024, marking a significant event in wildlife conservation. After 128 days of pregnancy, she quickly adapted to the role of a mother and carefully took care of her young. At this special moment, many people can't help but start thinking about their family plans. Are you considering a third child? Next, we invite you to keep an eye on our channel, where we will bring you the latest news about giant pandas and their breeding habits.
Do not read the subtitle. Do not read the subtitle.
The three-child policy was officially incorporated into law on August 20th, 2021, allowing couples to have children. Couples can have up to 3 kids as the government eases financial burden through diverse tax incentives. The policy aims to improve birth rates and address aging. We will share the latest legal info on maternity leave. The law for women employees specifies the following policy. Maternity leave for women is 98 days. Some women get 30 extra days of maternity leave. Men can take up to 30 days of paternity leave nationwide. Therefore, women take an average of 130 more days of maternity leave than men for each child they have. However, it's frustrating that there are dissenting voices. Feng Danlong advocates for transformation and progress. Both parents should be entitled to time off. According to her, extended maternity leave is considered an added benefit, but it may lead companies to hire fewer women, thereby exacerbating gender discrimination and hindering women's employment and career development. She highlights, don't depend on welfare policies to raise birth rates. It should be through mandatory shared leave, making men take more parenting roles. This helps women escape solo parenting. Next, we will conduct an in-depth analysis and discussion of the divorce cooling-off period to help the public correctly understand this important legal system. News reporting. Viewing the divorce cooling-off period law correctly. This is concerning. The divorce cooling-off period is now law under Article 1077 of the Civil Code to prevent quick divorces. Since the marriage office got the divorce application, either party can withdraw the application within 30 days. If the divorce certificate isn't picked up within 30 days after the period ends, it's deemed withdrawn. This policy offers couples a chance to reflect and communicate. It stresses the need for family stability. We will keep an eye on how the policy is implemented. Family is key to a nation. It's the base of social stability. Stable families mean a harmonious society. Families are vital for social stability. We urge the public to understand the importance of family, maintain family connections, work together for national stability and prosperity, be rational about issues, avoid issues for society, no extra troubles. Avoid issues for society, no extra issues. Recently, provisions of the anti-domestic violence law have drawn attention. Based on Article 16 regarding minor domestic violence incidents, public security authorities will issue a notice to the offender, emphasizing education rather than punishment, criticism and strict prohibitions against continuing acts of violence. These actions ensure the rights of family, ensuring their protection. To maintain harmony, A plea for awareness of domestic violence. Let's create a civilized family space together. News reporting. We highlight a domestic violence incident that has drawn significant attention. Wang Ying accused her police husband of abuse and said she called the police many times without any effective action. In response, netizens expressed confusion, questioning why Wang Ying didn't escalate her complaint. Wang Ying responded that she indeed reported the incidents multiple times. Each time, her husband's workplace dealt with the incidents. Ultimately, no resolution was reached. Meanwhile, Wang Ying shared that she had tried to divorce 4 times, but each attempt was turned down. This is quite worrying. Her husband has hidden their child and changed the locks. This situation has persisted for nearly 2 years. She could not see her son. A video shows that workers in police uniforms entered a certain house, and shortly after, a man exited through the door. They mock Wang Ying quite unkindly. At the same time, another woman behind them was cradling Wang Ying's child. Recently, Shen Shuhua pointed out in an interview that the current restrictions on female admissions have led to a continuous deterioration of the employment environment for women. She mentioned that when Li Wenqian applied to a famous police academy in China, she was well aware that her chances of success were not very high. It's due to the school's admission limits. Typically, the proportion of girls does not exceed 1/4 of all students. During a phone interview, Ms. Li learned from a staff member that more female students are admitted through a different process. The process depends on recommendations, not tests. However, the school announced last September that the proportion of female students would be limited to 15%. The school stated that this regulation is based on the high risk and high pressure nature of the police profession.
堂姐紧张、严肃、活泼，作风优良，能打胜仗。
European PMC has raised concern about China's gender ratio relating to the suicide rate. Suicide is a prominent cause of unnatural deaths in China. Women die by suicide more than men. The suicide rate in rural areas is 2.8 times that of urban areas, among 16,568 suicide cases. The male-to-female suicide ratios in cities and the countryside are 0.92 and 0.81 respectively. 2/3 of suicides often result from disputes within families and the loss of romantic love. The higher female suicide rate reflects their lower social and economic status, especially in remote areas lacking resources and protection. Also, per INH website reports, depression mainly affects women, causing illness and disability. Epidemiological studies indicate that the prevalence of severe depression among women is the rate in men is nearly half of what is observed in women at 12. The correlation between gender differences and depression varies with age, and the incidence rates for boys and girls are nearly similar in childhood.
The video you just watched is unfinished and will never be completed. When I tried to improve the video effects and Chinese video editing software I was using suddenly deleted all my original materials needed for video editing. After most of the editing materials disappeared, the software showed me a message saying no access in Chinese, which seems to reveal a lot of information and makes me confident that the loss of the video editing material has nothing to do with my operations in the software. Additionally, the video editing materials that display no access after being deleted mostly come from the government official website. In the screenshot, you can clearly see that my video editing material are missing. I thought that some algorithms in the video editing software might have been triggered, leading to the deletion of my editing materials. However, I did not feel hopeless, even though the original footage was gone, and it messed up my plan for creating art. I realized that the software blocking me from making critical artworks actually proved my work's value as contemporary art. It honestly reflects this era and my perspective that we live in the reality described in the George Orwell's novel 1984. So the fact that the software automatically deleted my editing material should be part of my artwork itself. Another thing I found worth mentioning is that the websites where the screenshots showed no access after being deleted are banned from being translated into English or traditional Chinese. These websites are official legal term websites, but when I clicked the translation button in the top right corner, the English content that appeared were completely different from the original text.